now, Death Valley Days. Howdy, folks. I'm the Old Ranger, and I have another interesting true story for you about the historic Death Valley country.
I'm going to tell you a big story of a big land, Texas. In 1881, Texas decided to build the most magnificent state house in the nation. And to get it, they made a proposition that hit the front page of every newspaper in the country. I call this story 10 in Texas. They offered to swap 3 million acres of land in the Texas Panhandle for a capital built of native red granite. 4 Chicago businessmen took Texas up on it, and that's when their troubles began.
There it is, gentlemen. That tract makes us the biggest landowners in the country.
For which we've pledged $1.5 million.
My brother and I will advance that.
That is correct.
Sit down, gentlemen.
Charles?
Yeah, thank you.
I have news for you. The job of building the Capitol is going to be much slower and cost far more than was estimated.
Then there's just one thing that can save us. We've got to make that 3 million acres into a paying ranch. I can't think of a more unlikely quartet for the job. Amos, a politician. Charles, a congressman. Abner, a building contractor. And yours truly, a merchant. We must test the land for water, fence it, and put cattle on it.
I think you've got something, Amos. But we'll need a good man to manage it.
And I've got him right outside that door. I brought him up with me. Oh, you know him, John. You loaned him the money for his first cattle operation. Come in.
Well, Mr. Farwell.
Barbecue Campbell.
Gentlemen, I never figured you'd become the owner of one of the largest ranches in the country.
How would you like to manage it?
You mean what you say, you got yourself a deal.
Great. With an old adobe house for headquarters, Barbecue Campbell started the tremendous job of turning 3 million acres of wilderness into a cattle ranch. Month after month, he rode the range, supervising the probe for water and the construction of buildings and corrals, watching the start of what was to become the longest fence in Western history.
Somewhere out on the plains, they're driving those cows towards us right now. 22,000 strong. That's only the beginning.
Yeah, the beginning of trouble. From now on, you'll be worrying about plagues and prairie fires that kill your cattle and rustlers that steal them.
Your fence, he'll keep the cows in. The rustlers out.
My name's Ab Blocker. There's your cows.
I'm Colonel Campbell, W.S. Maybury.
Howdy. This is Mac Brown.
Howdy. You're the first to arrive. Congratulations.
We drove the herd all night to get here, Colonel. What's your brand?
We haven't picked our brand yet.
Well, heck, man, you haven't got a ranch until you've got a brand got to burn into the hides of your cows.
Would you like to suggest a brand?
Sure. Well, I'll figure one out for you right now. There's 3 things important about a brand. First, it's got to look good and sound good. Second, it's got to be simple to put on. And last, you want a brand that no rustler can change. X is always good.
X stands for 10.
On this ranch, a man can ride into and over 10 counties without ever leaving the home range.
Yeah? 10 counties? Colonel, I've got your brand. X, I, T. 10 in Texas.
Looks good.
It is good, plenty good. Just 5 socks with 1 bar of iron will put it on, and it's gonna be hard to change.
No, I think he's right. From now on, this capital tract will be known as the XIT Ranch.
I'm the guy that named it.
Maybe you'd like to brand the first cow.
Sure. Mac, get me a branding iron from the chuck wagon. One with a straight bar.
Coming up.
Blocker, I'd like to hire all your men and give you a top job.
I reckon my men will stay and work for you, but not me. I got things to do and places to go after I stock on your first brand.
That Blocker is quite a character. They say he sighted the North Star down the backs of more longhorn steers than any man dead or alive.
Give us a good brand.
XIT.
You know, before we can burn that into the hides of those cows, every rustler from here to the border will be trying to figure out ways to change that.
Well, if there is a way, I know who'll be the first to find it.
Who?
Johnny Santos. Hasn't been seen in Tascosa for a month. But he just happened to pass through yesterday. By the time Ab Blocker hits the first saloon in Tascosa, starts bragging about creating this new brand, Johnny's going to be working on it.
Biggest outfit in the whole world, I tell you. And me. Ab Blocker. Gave them their brand. Burned it on the first cow myself. Watch. X. I. T. Give me another drink.
He's so obliging, this loud one. Before they have time to put it on 100 cows, he comes and tells the brand.
If you start to draw marks for stealing cows, I go. There's plenty men here would like better to look at Chiquita than to make marks for stealing cows.
I think you will not like it if mark I make by diamond for other girl.
X. I. T. And what's more, there ain't a rustler in all Texas smart enough to change it.
He thinks he's pretty smart, hombre. But he's not so smart as Johnny Santos.
As soon as I got your message, Colonel. So you're having trouble down here at the south end?
Every kind there is, Mabry. I've got 100,000 head of cattle coming in. If they don't die of thirst, the rustlers will get them.
You losing cattle?
Somebody's drifting them over the line. 25 to 40 head at a time. Looks like Mac. Means the rustlers are at it again.
Colonel, Mabry.
What is it, Mac?
More bad news, Colonel. I was riding fence along the New Mexico line when I come to a section that had been torn down. It's made to look like the cattle had done it, but I'll swear it's them rustlers again.
Did you follow their tracks?
We're none to follow. They must have taken them cows out last night, just before that big wind hit. Tracks was all sifted over with fine sand.
Same technique as before.
Yeah. I covered about 30 miles trying to round them up. Never found no trace of them.
Mac, I want you to be sure that every man riding fence is armed with a 6-shooter and a Winchester. We'll make it hot for anybody without legitimate business.
I'll tend to it.
You better take a couple of men and ride the country up over the line. Ride 100 miles, 200 if you have to. But Keep going till you find our cattle.
I'm on my way right now.
Maybe it looks like we're up against a real smart operator. It could be one man working alone.
What makes you think so?
The last time, the boys were able to follow their tracks a couple of miles till the wind blotted them out. There were hoof prints of one horse, and that one rider must have drifted a good 40 head over the line, single-handed.
Johnny Santos could do it.
You mentioned his name before. Who is he?
A young daredevil. Used to be a cowhand in these parts. His mother was a Texas girl, married a Mexican. She died when Johnny was born. The kid was raised in Mexico. Came up here when he was 18, got a job with the LS outfit. Then, like a lot of cowhands, he got a hankering for a small range and some stock of his own.
He helped himself to the LS stock.
The evidence pointed that way, but the LS couldn't prove a thing.
When was this?
About a year ago. He took his cattle and he moved south, somewhere down around the Rio Grande. But he's got a girl in Tascosa. Keeps coming back to see her.
Maybe to change a few brands while he's about it.
It figures. Every big outfit keeps an eye on him. But so far, nobody's ever caught him red-handed.
You're going into Tascosa tomorrow to order water pumps. Check up on this Johnny Santos. See if he's been around lately.
I'll do that.
If he's stealing our cattle, I'll find a way to trap him. Good to have Johnny away.
I've got to go.
Hello, Chiquita.
Hello, Mr. Mayberry.
Looks like some of these waddies are trying to beat Johnny's time.
Nobody beats Johnny's time. Johnny's in town, but if Johnny's not here, a girl, she gets lonesome.
Seems to me he's taking an awfully big risk. Where is he?
Away on business.
Must be mighty important business.
So he say.
Does he still have that spread of his own? Down south somewhere?
Why not? Johnny's a smart boy. He will be big cattleman someday.
What I can't figure is why you don't marry him. Keep him out of trouble.
Johnny is never in trouble.
What'd you find out about Santos?
Well, I picked up several items here and there. First, he hasn't been seen around Tascosa for about 6 weeks.
6 weeks? Just about the time the raid started on our cattle.
He still has that spread of his own down near the Rio Grande, just south of New Mexico.
That figures. He's drifting the cattle across New Mexico onto his range.
Now, this last item is just a rumor. But I heard Johnny registered a new brand. Haven't found out what it is yet.
Sounds like he's figured out a way to change the XIT. Maybe when Mac gets back, we'll find out how. Mac, you've been gone a heck of a long time.
Just carrying out your orders, Colonel.
All right, what happened?
Well, first off, while we was following a lot of wrong trails, the man we was after was making tracks south. We was putting her over to Rio Grande country before I spotted about 60 head of cattle grazing down at the bottom of a timbered canyon.
Rio Grande, huh?
Yeah. Colonel, we hid out and waited 4 days waiting for that rider to show. Never did get a look at him. If he was around, he must have seen us first. Then when our grub give out, well, we had to give up.
Were they our cattle?
I'd have sworn every one of them come right off our range.
Go on.
That is, till I snuck down, got a good look at the brand. There it is, Colonel. And if you can figure out how anybody could make that out of the XIT, you're way ahead of me.
Star with a cross in the center, huh? Be doggone if I can figure it out.
I can't either. I've got a hunch somebody else can.
Johnny Santos. But I'll have to have more than this before I can put the sheriff on his trail.
We might have an ace in the hole, Colonel. On our way back, we run across a cow that must have strayed from the herd.
She had that star-crossed brand on her, all right, but she had something else besides. Go on. You remember that cow of ours that had a brown eye on the right-hand side, but her left eye was sort of a smoky gray?
And a left ear with a white tip?
That's the one. Well, I brung her in, Colonel. She's down in the corral.
Fine. Back you ride and get the sheriff. Now that we have the evidence he needs to make the arrest, I want Johnny Santos behind bars before he puts his brand on some of that 100,000 head we have out there.
Right.
Johnny?
How is my Chiquita?
Are you all right?
Why not?
I'm so worried for a long time. I think something happens to you.
There's nothing to be afraid for. Everything he is fine. My business, he go perfect.
Are you sure?
Why you ask?
Is people ask questions. Where you are, what you do. Maybe the surveyor, he asks why I don't marry you and keep you out of trouble.
Why don't you?
I marry no man who will die hanging from the end of a rope.
Now, who would hang me? There is nobody can prove I am not honest citizen.
Someday, somebody will prove it. And then... Oh, Johnny, you promise you will stop when you have still enough so we get good start on ranch. Already you have plenty for good start, but you keep on to steal. For fun!
It's good game. I like it. One man against big outfit. And Johnny Santos, he always win. Don't you find out who is it?
Who is it?
It's Jim East, Chiquita.
It's the sheriff.
Find out what he wants.
What do you want?
I have a warrant for the arrest of Johnny Santos. We know he's in there. So if you want to keep him alive, you better persuade him to come out peaceably.
So it's true, Sheriff. I am here. What of it? You got no reason for to arrest me. I don't break no law.
You're charged with cattle rustling, Santos. Open the door. Don't try anything. The house is surrounded. One false move out of you and 6 men will pump you full of lead.
Johnny, please don't start anything. If you shoot, they will kill you.
I am coming, Sheriff.
Johnny?
Colonel Campbell, your cowhand, Mac Brown, has already told us that he identified the cow he found as an XIT cow because her right eye was brown and her left eye was smoky gray and her left ear white-tipped. Now tell me, have you ever seen this animal before?
I certainly had. Mac pointed her out to me when she was rounded up for branding. We decided how valuable she was to the XIT as a marker.
Then you actually saw this animal when she was an unbranded calf.
I did.
And you subsequently saw her when the XIT brand had been put on her side?
I was present when she was branded.
Then you are positive that this cow, with the star-crossed brand burned in her side in the exact spot where the XIT brand is customarily placed, is the same cow you personally saw branded with the XIT?
I'm absolutely positive she's the same cow.
You're a witness.
Colonel Campbell, this business of a brown eye and a gray eye, isn't this a type of coloring that could quite readily be found on another cow?
I don't believe another cow would have a brown right eye and a smoky gray left eye with a left ear white tip.
You mean to tell me it's impossible that another cow could have these same markings?
I didn't say it was impossible.
Then it is possible for another cow to have these colorings.
Well,
Answer yes or no.
yes, it's possible.
That's all.
This star-crossed brand of yours, Mr. Santos, where did you get it?
Right here in my head.
Isn't it true that you already have 2 other brands registered to you?
I use them only until I can think of one better.
And you just happened to think of this one after you heard about the XIT?
I think of Star because of my mother. She was born in the Lone Star State of Texas.
Then you didn't register the Star Cross because you discovered you could brand it over the XIT?
Mr. Prosecutor, you try to convict me of a crime it's impossible to commit. I tell you, I make you bet. The gentlemen in the jury, they are all cattlemen, no?
Yes, they are.
All right. I bet you not one of these gentlemen, all smart as me, maybe smarter, can put Star Cross over XIT. Let every man try. If they cannot do it, they will prove one thing. Johnny Santos, he is innocent.
Have you reached a verdict?
We have.
Prisoner will stand. Jury, look upon the prisoner. Prisoner, look upon the jury. Now, how say you? Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
A rotten verdict. I thought we had him for sure. Evidently, the jurors couldn't change the brand.
Johnny Santos knows the trick and still intend to find out a way to prove it.
Waiter, bring drinks and food for everybody. Tonight, Johnny Santos pays the bill.
See, you're celebrating the verdict. How does it feel, a man to be acquitted when he knows he's guilty?
If it happened to me sometime, I'd write your letter and tell you.
Well, you can do me a favor right now. You've been acquitted, and you know they can't try you for the same crime again.
I know this. So?
I'll make you a proposition. You show me how the XIT brand was changed into the Star Cross, I'll make you a present of $5,000.
Hey, caramba. $5,000. It's enough to make any man draw a brand, if he could.
Johnny.
With so much money, a man could build a house for a wife and babies.
And be honest, cattleman?
Why not? Show me the money.
Right here. $5,000 cash.
Waiter, get me a piece of soap. Now, everybody, listen. There is no man on jury can change XIT into Star Cross. Watch and see if Johnny can do. Come on, Mr. Campbell, you come along, just in case. Now, XIT goes like this. And my star, if I could do it, I think maybe I'd do like this.
I knew it.
Now maybe you'd like to give me the cash money, Colonel Campbell.
So the mystery of the Star Cross brand was solved, and Johnny built the house for Chiquita, made restitution, became an honest cattleman, and raised many babies. The Chicago businessmen fulfilled their contract and built Texas the most magnificent state house in the Union. And the famous XIT Ranch was eventually opened to settlers and has become a rich agricultural area that is now valued at $60 million.